Hello, everyone. In all the previous videos, I introduced the concept of quantum computation, explaining the basic tools that are used in quantum computing, providing background in quantum gates, open systems, and entanglement. Nevertheless, you've probably been wondering how we actually use these tools for computational purposes. Well, this is what we aim to solve in the second part of this course, which covers quantum algorithms. In this video, we will begin our chapter on universal quantum computation by discussing how we can construct arbitrary controlled unitary operators using only gates of constant size. For our purposes, we will mostly focus on controlled single-qubit unitaries, but we will show how this analysis can be extended to larger unitaries in subsequent parts when we talk about universal quantum computation in more detail using gates of constant size. Okay, but how do we represent any arbitrary single qubit unitary? Well, we can use the fact that any matrix in SU2 admits the following Euler angle decomposition, where the rotation matrices are given as follows. Since SU2 is the group of unitaries with determinant 1, we have that we can represent any 2 by 2 unitary by just adding a phase factor in front of this decomposition. It should be noted that this kind of decomposition can actually be generalized to any non-parallel axes mn instead of zy here, but for the sake of clarity, I will stick with this zyz convention. Okay, so we can parameterize any single qubit unitary using z and y rotations. What can we do with this information? Well, we can use this result to get the following corollary. In particular, for any single qubit unitary U, there exists an ABC decomposition such that ABC equals I, but AX BXC equals U. The proof of this follows from the following choices of A, B, C, which we can then substitute into these two expressions to obtain the desired properties. All right, well, that's cool and all, but why do we care about this? Well, it shows that we can implement any controlled single qubit unitary using just CNOT gates and single qubit gates. For instance, suppose that we want to perform the controlled U operation, which I've denoted as lambda of U, and whose block matrix representation is given as follows. We can simply write out the ABC decomposition of U and control the application of the NOT gates to implement this operation, showing that beyond C-NOT gates, we really don't need any other 2-qubit gates to compute any controlled unitary, assuming that we have the right single-qubit gates. Okay, now a natural extension of this problem is to consider how we can implement any arbitrary controlled unitary gate, lambda n of U, where we have n control qubits and the unitary gate acts on k qubits. For the sake of simplicity, we will assume for now that we can directly perform lambda u for arbitrary k. In the next video, we will explicitly show how to do this by demonstrating that any d by d unitary can be decomposed into a product of C naught and single qubit unitaries, but for now we will just take this at face value. Consequently, we effectively are interested in the problem of converting this n-qubit controlled unitary lambda n of u into a composition of lambda u and similar constant size unitaries. Well, if we allow ancillas, this is fairly trivial to do using Toffoli gates, where we effectively just use work qubits to chain together AND gates on the input qubits to test whether U should be applied, reversing the application of gates afterwards to zero out the ancillas to make sure that we don't get any unwieldy entanglement with the ancilla registers. Furthermore, we can decompose the circuit even further by noting that the Toffoli gate can actually be broken down into C-naught and single qubit gates. In particular, we can observe that any 2-qubit controlled unitary can be written as follows, where v squared equals u. You can verify this yourself by trying all 4 bit strings on the first 2 lines. For a Toffoli gate, we have that u equals x equals hzh, meaning that v equals square root of x is just hsh, since s squared is z. Consequently, this means that each controlled square root x operation can be written as a controlled s operation conjugated by 2 operations. We can then observe that lambda s can be written as the 2-qubit control gate that just applies a phase I, in other words, lambda squared of I. Since square root of s is just t, we have that lambda s can actually be written in terms of t and c naught gates as follows. Substituting this back into the original circuit, we get the following. Removing all the gates that cancel, we have that the Toffoli gate is simply given by the following decomposition. Okay, so we have that any Toffoli gate can be decomposed into a sequence of CNOT and single-qubit unitaries. I should note that the decomposition I've shown here is technically not optimal, and there do exist more efficient ways of decomposing the Toffoli, like this one shown here, which uses 6 Toffoli gates instead of 7. But for instructional purposes, this suffices to show how we can use a constant number of gates we are familiar with to construct a Toffoli. Altogether, we have that any n-qubit controlled unitary, lambda to the n of u, can be decomposed into O of n CNOTs and single-qubit unitaries, as well as a single application of lambda u if we have ancillas. But what if we don't have ancillas? Well, recent results within the past decade or so have actually shown that we can still do this using O of n gates, but the construction is somewhat complicated. Consequently, I won't go into detail here about how to actually build these unitaries, but I will include a link in the description to a dedicated explanation of how to construct n-qubit Toffoli gates without ancillas. Ultimately, the main takeaway here should be the fact that we can use O of n CNOTs and single-qubit unitaries, as well as lambda u to implement any arbitrary controlled unitary. One last thing I wanted to mention about controlled gates is that while we have been assuming that the control qubits have to be 1 for the unitary to be applied, there's nothing special about this choice of convention. For instance, it can be sometimes useful to implement a control gate that requires a control qubit to be 0 instead. In this case, we will have the control part of the gate have an empty circle instead of a filled one. This is essentially just equivalent to conjugating a regular control unitary by X operators, but it's obviously much more convenient to write these gates this way. Altogether, we have that controlled gates can easily be decomposed into CNOT gates and single-qubit unitaries. In the next lecture on exact universal quantum computation, we will demonstrate how to decompose any arbitrary n-qubit unitary into these gates. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.